Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Monday, January 23rd. And obviously we've gotten rid of at least some of the fog. Looks like conditions will improve, especially across the southern part of the state. And then we can say goodbye to spring. Looks like winter's going to come back later this week. Right now we expect kind of a normal brand of winter weather here over the next 7 days. And we could see some snow chances, but the system Tuesday, Wednesday looks more like rain for much of the MAC area, but some of the models we're going to have to watch closely here the next couple of runs. The 06Z run shows the track a little bit farther south, and again, looks like the heaviest snow is going to be out from the Dakotas into Iowa, parts of southern Minnesota as it looks right now into north central Wisconsin. And then again, we could see a powerhouse cold wave develop here as we get towards late next week, although the extended outlook from over the weekend does not show that. Boy, we got some indicators that certainly do. And if we look at the next slide, the big story of the weekend, though, 20 plus persons were killed across the southern states from some violent tornadoes that occurred. And again, very bad situation down there. And if we look at the normals for here, our normal high is 30, the normal low is 15. And if we look at the next slide, you can see some of the warmest and coldest temperatures across the lower 48 for Sunday. 87 degrees at Melbourne, Florida, along with 6 other locations. If we look at the coldest temperature, it was 9 degrees below zero at Boulder, Wyoming. And if we look at conditions around the area yesterday across the MAC, you can see temperatures very warm, about 15 to 20 degrees above normal in many locations, in the upper 40s, all the way up to 56 degrees down at Jasper. And again, you can see some of these traces of precipitation, mainly from drizzle and all that fog out here over the last couple of days. And you can see now we're up to about 4.5 degrees above normal per day. We'll start to cut into that, I think, as we get coming through the week here. But again, I think it looks like January is going to end up above normal as it looks right now. But again, we should see these numbers erode just a little bit. If we look at conditions out there this morning, again, another balmy spring-like morning with temperatures in the upper 30s to the low 40s. And again, we'll see conditions begin to cool off, especially as we get towards midweek. And again, we'll keep an eye on that system for tomorrow late into Wednesday to see if we can get some snow out of that. Definitely rain looks more likely, though, for much of the MAC area. You can see on the radar this morning just a little bit of light returns across the far southeastern part of the state. Most of the steadier precipitation into the Ohio Valley. And if we look at the weather map this morning, you can see the low pressure system that's been responsible for all the violent storms across the south, all the way from eastern Texas through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, into Georgia and the Carolinas and Tennessee. Again, that'll move off to the northeast and finally allow those to begin to clean up, those folks down there. And then we're going to watch this system here that's going to spread some heavier snows off into the Corn Belt area towards the Great Lakes. But again, right now, the best bet looks like southern Wisconsin, much of lower Michigan should escape the heavy snow. But again, we really need to watch the 12Z run. That could be very interesting. And if we look at the map for tomorrow, you can see that low pressure system now coming into Kansas. And again, as that moves off to the east-northeast, it looks like enough warm air is going to get pulled in that we'll see mainly a rain or mixed rain and snow event here. Mostly rain as it looks right now with the heaviest snows back across much of South Dakota, into northern Nebraska, into northwestern Iowa, southern Minnesota, into north central Wisconsin. And again, though, this really bears watching here over the next couple of model runs. And if we look at the forecast map, finally by Wednesday, the low pressure system moves up towards the southeast Wisconsin area. And again, that'll put us more on the warm side. And again, we'll watch this track a little farther track to the south, and we could get some significant snows across at least the northern MAC areas as we get into Tuesday night into Wednesday. And as far as precipitation, you can see that band of heavier snow that's going to come out of the Dakotas into Wisconsin, and then mostly again rain across much of the area. Some of this up here where you can see over an inch of precipitation over the next 7 days is going to be lake effect snows, and then you can see much of the action is going to be from the Appalachians up into New England over the next 7 days as far as precipitation. And as far as the percentages of getting 4 or more inches of snow, you can see the greatest odds is going to be across much of the southern portions of South Dakota into portions of Minnesota. And again, some of those folks could get anywhere from 4 to 8, maybe 10 inches of snow. I think Minneapolis, St. Paul area looks like about 3 to 6, 3 to 7 inches of snow as it looks right now. And if we look at the next screenshot, you can see some of the forecasted amounts here over the next 72 hours by INSA, showing that heaviest band of snow across the southern Dakotas into Minnesota area. And again, for much of lower Michigan, little or no snow according to INSEP. And if we look at the European model, which depicts us in the red areas, you can see a little farther south with some of the heavier snows versus the GFS, which would put that pretty heavy band of snow across even into Wisconsin and into far northern lower Michigan before you really get much in the way of significant snowfall there. As far as the Southern Oscillation Index, we just have a tremendous crash going on right now. So when I look at the 6 to 10 or the 8 to 14 day outlook on temperatures showing these readings much above normal or above normal across the areas from the Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes, I'm really having a hard time buying that. So it'll be interesting to see what the next model run or the next forecast cycle shows here for later on this afternoon as far as this first several days of February and the last day or two of the month of January. So it'll be interesting later on this afternoon. We'll show you the same map one day later here in tomorrow's outlook to see if this has changed any. And as far as weather watch, you can see some fog advisories remain for the northern portions of the state, improved conditions across our area, just a number of flash flood advisories, watches, or warnings. And then again, the big story out west of us is going to be the winter storm watch that's in effect all the way now into Wisconsin. And you'd look at this and say, well, if they extend us to the east, we'd get a lot of snow across south central into north central lower Michigan. But again, right now the best bet is that we pull enough warm air up into this area here where I think the more significant snow is going to move off to the northeast. But again, we need to watch the model runs. I think with the last track or the last model run at 0.6 on a GFS showing a little farther south, plus the European already farther south, we'll see what happens with the next run or two. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Have yourself a great day, a great work week, and 73s to all.